Hello, everyone. My name is Matt Tate. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer here at Foster Web Marketing. And in today's webinar, we're going to talk about how to clarify your 3 different types of marketing messaging, how to put them on your website, which will lead to increased ROI from all of your different marketing channels and higher profits. So let's get into it. First, we're going to start with why clarifying your marketing message is so important. Now, it will help you attract more of the types of clients you like to work with or the most profitable. It saves you time and money by increasing your marketing channel's conversion rate and ROI, and it builds brand recognition and establishes that you are the solution to your clients' problems. Now, there are 3 different types of marketing messaging. I'm sure a lot of people just think, oh, I've got one. No. You have 3. And there are very specific goals you want each one to accomplish. So you have internal messaging, which is a mission statement, your characteristics and actions of the people that work for you or for yourself. You've got brand messaging, which is a more of an external mission statement, your elevator pitch, your tagline. Then we've got your marketing messaging, which is most people think of as messaging. And all that does is help establish your product or service as having empathy, authority, what your value is, and what is the risk for clients if they don't use your services. So what is your internal messaging? Your internal messaging is a set of economic goals, personal characteristics, and actions that guides the decisions you and your team make every single day. Think about this like a decentralized command, right? This is something that really puts the emphasis on everybody that you have to go ahead and execute to reach the economic goals, what personal characteristics and what actions they will need to take to achieve that. So we're going to go ahead and go through all of those different sections and how to achieve it. But it all starts with that mission statement first. So your mission statement needs to be easy to remember. Every person on your team needs to be capable of saying your mission statement at any moment. And think about it. If you were to ask someone, what your mission statement is, if you have to go and look it up first, it's probably not a good mission statement. I'm sure most of the people watching this probably have a mission statement, but they don't actually know it. Feel free to go ahead and say it to yourself right now. And if you can't remember it, you don't have a good mission statement. So you have to first start with aligning your mission statement around 1 to 3 economic priorities that generate revenue, profit, and growth. So the formula for this is I want to achieve X by Y because of Z. And what that does, each one of these different sections have a way to kind of create it and craft it that can speak to every member of your team and what they need to take the next steps to achieve those particular goals. So let's go ahead and start with X. So for X, you need 1 to 3 economic goals. Now, these goals need to be specific and measurable. So you don't just say, I want to feel this way. You say, I need 50 new clients, or I need 50 new patients. I need to sell 50 of these individual products. You have to be very specific and measurable. And think about what are the biggest challenges you have to achieve these goals? Is it overcomable? If one of your goals is to outsell Amazon, that's probably not really achievable at this particular time. And what they really need to do, which most business owners will appreciate, is they need to generate revenue and profit. It can't just be, we want to get our name out there. We want to get a certain amount of likes on our post. That may be some smaller, more internal things that you need to achieve, but they need to generate revenue and profit. Profit is probably the most important part of that. And are the goals you have chosen something you are willing to prioritize over all others? Now, this is something that is very important because every business owner, every small business I've helped start or run runs into this. Are you willing to give away other things? Because we're always chasing the bright, shiny objects. Someone's always saying, hey, do you want to go to this new seminar? Do you want to try this new thing? Or other people are putting out this product. We should do that too. And you have to always go back to that X and say, does this help me achieve that particular goal? So it has to be prioritized over everything else. And that's going to be your job as a leader to constantly push back and say, well, does it help us achieve this? And so that's where I say it really needs to be something you're willing to prioritize, even over the shiny new fun objects. Next, we're going to go ahead and say the why. Now, the why is extremely important to help achieve that particular X. The deadline to achieve these goals should be achieved within 2 years to create a sense of urgency. This will give your team enough time to actually reach that goal, but not so far away that they can procrastinate. So that 1 to 2 years is a reasonable time frame to aim for, as long as the deadline is realistic and actually drives urgency. Your deadline is too far away, you're constantly going to say, I'm going to go back and get to it. That's one thing. But the other is, if you say, I'm going to be the number one in this industry in 3 months, that's overwhelming. People will shut down. It's like telling someone you're going to run 100 miles. Much better to say, hey, we're going to run 20 miles. And then when you actually reach 10 miles, everybody still loves you. So it has to be reasonable. You have to be able to actually see it, but it can't be done in such a speed that, people are just going to burn out, or it feels like you can never actually climb that particular hill. So the Z part, so the because. So this is an important section because it helps motivate your team beyond just doing the minimum to collect a paycheck. So a couple of ways to think about it would be, do you have a vision for a better world? So we want to achieve X so that the world can be a better place. Or are you pushing back against an injustice? So you think it out in terms of because, but you can also think about it so we can. Because you could say we want to sell this much of this product by this date so that we can build a new product, we can sell a new service, we can hire new people. So it doesn't just have to be this big, high level, get everybody rah, but they may want new computers, and you say, guys, we need to achieve this by then so that we could get those new computers. So for the FWM mission statement, which I put together, is we will add 50 new clients by January of 2024 because we want to empower attorneys and doctors to heal, protect, and achieve justice for others. We've got our economic goals, we've got the date that we set, and then we've got something that kind of speaks to our team that can get them fired up. We're not just like, hey, we need more money. No, and we really do believe in this because, with Foster, who we work with is so many professional businesses, they help people. We have to kind of see the case results and the way it impacts people's lives, but it doesn't have to just be some high mighty like injustice against everyone. Your team can get around providing a good solution to someone's problem. Even if you're selling dog food, you know what? If that dog food helps someone's dog live a lot longer, that's a good reason to get up every day and fight to help present a solution to somebody to achieve that particular goal. Now, the next part is going to be the characteristics. So what characteristics do one of your team members need to help you achieve that goal? So we've got our goal. What characteristics help us achieve that? It could be something like characteristics they need to help them if they get overwhelmed by challenges, like a shift in the economy or a good team member leaves, right? That kind of throws everybody off. Do they have the fortitude to push forward? What kind of characteristics create a good team environment? Will people feel empowered to deliver and implement innovative ideas? Are they specific, aspirational, and achievable? We don't want to say, I want to be the smartest people that work for us have to be the smartest people on earth. Is that achievable? Probably not. So there is always a balance between what we do when we say what characteristics. We can't all be perfect. A little bit about some characteristics for Foster. So, are they motivated to complete tasks and exceed expectations? Do they love building relationships and they never stop learning? And are they driven by innovation? So if we've got a goal of 50 people, these are 3 characteristics that someone really needs to have in our industry to eventually achieve that particular goal. Next will come the action. So we've got the goal, We've got the characteristics, and what actions do people who have those characteristics need to take? They should be actions that everyone on your team can do. They should be directly related to your mission that you want to achieve. Are these actions repeatable? It can't be something that can only be achieved one time and then people are burnt out. Now, if someone on your team repeated these actions daily, would that get them a promotion? Just think about that. If someone just simply did this thing every single day, would that make them eligible for a promotion? I mean, how much of the stuff that we do every day, or even the business owners could say that, like, what I did today, I'd hire me, or I'd promote me, or I'd give me more money. We don't always achieve that, but let's set that as the goal that we want to achieve. So, can your team perform these actions without any questions, right? We don't want to set something that only you or only a specific person can do, or they have to have someone standing over their back their whole time to do it. So FWM action: respond to every client and lead like they're your most critical client or lead, which is always nice. Speak up if you know how we can better help our clients achieve their goals, and don't let ego interfere with your company's mission. Reach out to other team members if they need help with how to do something or answer a client's questions. The one that speaks to me the most out of those is, speaking up if you know a better way to help a client. A lot of times in business, there's this phrase of no good idea goes unpunished. Well, that doesn't matter. You really should speak up. Like, that's what's going to get you promoted if you come out and you come up with a good idea. But you don't want to just have a good idea. You want to get it 80% of the way there and say, here is my idea. Here's how I think it should go. Who can help me out with that? Now, it may cause more work for you, but what is the end mission? And I will guarantee you, any questions or any ideas that you have will help you achieve that mission. If it is something you go, wow, this is going to cause extra work, it probably is a good idea. After actions, we're going ahead and we're going to say brand. So that was internal messaging, mission statement, characteristics, actions. This is your actual brand. Effective brand messaging has 3 essential parts: your external mission statement. So the last one, internal, like nobody cares about what your financial goals are if they're trying to hire you. That's more an internal thing to kind of guide you in the right way and help, kind of motivate your team. So your external mission statement, your elevator pitch, and your tagline as well. Now, all 3 of these are designed to clarify what your business does and transform team members and clients into a mobile sales force. So just think about that for a second. If you have really clear messaging and elevator pitches and taglines, you want to do so in a way that anybody who comes to your business knows exactly how to sell you to everybody else. And we're going to get into this and how to create this messaging from employees to anyone who bought a product. You want them to be a sales force for you, but there's a very specific way that you can achieve that. We're going to start with the brand mission statement. So a formula for a brand mission statement is problem plus solution plus results. You should craft your mission statement to cover your business as a whole, but you can drive all the way down into individual products. The problem is the hook that opens the loop in your prospective mind and triggers a reaction in the brain. Then either conscious or subconscious, they will have to pay attention. Dave Fries always talks about how, the mind is constantly searching for fear and desire, things that help you survive or thrive. So if you present that problem first, that's going to help them. It's going to force them to be like, all right, I'll listen to the next part. Even if consciously you're like, whatever, subconsciously your brain's going to say, I kind of have that problem. You may not want to say it, but it is a problem that we have, and I'm going to at least try to pay attention to the very next part. So the problem really is a big part of this particular action. So if the problem opens the loop, The solution closes the loop, and then the result is the happy outcome that makes people imagine how good it would feel to have that. So a really good brand mission statement should have a roller coaster of emotions or make them go, yeah, I would like that too. So I've talked about the human brain. Now, later on in this webinar, we're going to get very specific about creating messaging for your client solutions and the actual results. So this is kind of the FWM brand mission statement. So when lawyers and doctors are uncertain about how to generate more revenue and make higher profits, the problem, FWM leverages its over 20 years of experience in advanced technology to implement a marketing and sales system that puts business owners back in control of running their business instead of their business running them. So problem was lawyers and doctors uncertain about how to generate revenue. The solution, we leverage our 20 years of experience, technology, and implement a marketing and sales system. And the end result is instead of a business running them, they get to run their business. Problem, solution, result. So just try to process that for you and how much nicer you could go ahead and create that particular brand statement that it faces outwardly and get people to repeat it, or even have your client or your staff be able to repeat that particular message. Now, your elevator pitch uses basically the same formula, problem, solution, outcome, with one difference. You should craft your elevator pitch with the idea that it is meant for people to ask, what do you do? Or why should I buy this product? So if you're at a party, someone asks you what you do. Or if you're at a conference or something, or you're at some show and people say, why should I buy your product? Thinking about the question like that and how you would answer, and then concentrating everything you could say about your service or product down to the problem it is for, the solution you have, and what the result will be if they buy it from you, will create clarity in your marketing and in your potential clients' minds. Remember, a confused mind does not buy. I repeat, a confused mind does not buy. It's kind of a cliche at this point, but it is extremely true. So in a perfect world, you should create an elevator pitch for every product or service that you provide using the random stranger test that I already talked about, and create a good elevator pitch. So for me, we could do everything from our main service, which is a DIY turnkey system and software, or marketing services, all the way down to, how to sell an email marketing campaign for somebody. So you want to do this and use the whole phrasing, if someone says, what do you do? And you want them to say, oh, tell me more, instead of saying, okay, that's fine, and then moving on if you're forgotten. Now, the example that I'm going to use is one of our digital marketing strategists. If someone came up to them at a party and said, hey, what do you do? Do they say, I'm a digital marketing strategist? No. That would be forgotten right away. Or if someone just says, I do marketing. Or if you're a lawyer, like, I'm a lawyer. You're a doctor. I'm a doctor. Podiatrist. I'm a podiatrist. I work on people's feet. You want to break through all the noise and all the other things that people have gotten throughout the day, or the next person they're trying to talk to, or they might be a very boring party and everybody is trying to leave. So let's talk a bit about that. So for the FWM marketing strategy, so instead of just saying I'm a marketer, imagine this. So Matt, what do you do? Well, when lawyers and doctors want to attract better clients and patients using digital marketing, I create and execute a multi-channel digital marketing campaigns that drive potential clients to their website and convert them into paying customers. So if I'm an attorney or a doctor, if I just say business owners, and you know what? I'm struggling to attract better clients to my website using digital marketing or a multi-channel marketing campaign, and converting them into paying customers. I'm going to pay attention to what you had to say next, or they're going to say, tell me more. If you have that problem, your brain almost can't help but say, tell me more. Or even if you don't, because you're trying to leave the party, you might come back to that later, or it's going to fester in your mind. So if you can get everyone on your staff on board with that, or you say it in a way and repeat it that even clients could answer, like, oh, where did you get this? Or you were injured, we'll help you. Or you got a web or a will done, or, any type of service. You want them to be able to respond in this way. Will they always do it? No. But going through the process of trying to clarify this will help create clarity in all of the marketing and the other things that you do. All right, now for the tagline. So for your tagline, you want to think about kind of the aspirational goals of your clients, right? Let's talk about this for a second. So aspirational goals really state that your client, they have a problem which causes this in them, right? They're frustrated, they're angry, they are unsure about the future. So you want to take them from what they are now, what do they aspire to be? Well, your solution should help them achieve what they aspire to be. So if they go from frustrated business owner, they go to a responsible or a profitable business owner. They go from angry to enjoying life. It doesn't have to be some direct, this causes that, but it should be, you can use some clarity in it. And I've got some examples of that, but the aspirational goal, if you can work that in your tagline, that is extremely powerful. And I've got a good example for you of that here in a second. Now, some things you don't want to do. You don't want to make it about yourself. 25 years of doing marketing or this, right? That's not really a good tagline. It doesn't really speak to their aspirational goals. You don't want to use industry words, such as inbound marketing for lawyers and doctors. Inbound marketing is a fancy phrase that people like HubSpot use. Most of our perfect clients aren't searching for inbound marketing. They may do inbound marketing, which really is just content marketing, but don't use industry specific things. Don't trade clarity for cleverness. So phrases like, we planned the work and work the plan. What the hell does that even mean? So, never trade clarity for cleverness. Don't make it too long. Remember, it needs to fit on t-shirts. It's got to fit on hats. It's got to fit on your website. So don't make it too long. And is it memorable? Great way to think about that. Could you turn it into an earworm? Could you turn it into a jingle? So if you can figure out how to create an aspirational goal and turn it into a jingle, that's golden. Now, currently, we don't have a tagline because we are doing a company-wide contest. So I would encourage you to do the same thing. We've had taglines in the past, but we're kind of in the process of, we're redoing our website. So we're taking the opportunity to redo our tagline as well. So we're giving an Amazon gift card to anybody who can come up with a really good tagline. But here's the example of a tagline I love. And this comes from anybody that's in the Washington, D.C. area has heard this, dozens of times. And it's from a home services company called Michael & Sons. And they say, if you can't, we can, Michael & Sons. And the jingle goes, if you can't, we can, Michael & Sons. I apologize for having to sing that. But think about the aspirational goal. Homeowners, they feel like they can't get something done. And they're like, God, I wish somebody would fix this plumbing, would fix that AC or something that, like, man, I just can't get that done, or they can't find anybody to do it. Well, they can do it because they literally do every service from plumbing to kitchen remodeling. They'll probably build you a home if you ask. And so that jingle encapsulates, if you can't, we can. So trying to think, it doesn't have to directly spell it out. Like I said, you can use some clarity, but earworm, aspirational goals, that is the golden way to do it. Now it's to the marketing messaging. And this is what most people think about when it comes to messaging. I'm sure when you signed up, you were like, 3 different types of messaging. What are you talking about? This is it. This is the third one. So to update your marketing messaging, start by thinking about the problem your perfect clients have and what solution you have or need to create to solve that problem. You may not have a product that directly relates to what it is that their problem is. A good way to think about this, say if you were a personal injury attorney and you say, I'm a personal injury attorney. It's like, oh, but will you do dog bites? Yeah. Well, do you have a page that says, we do dog bites and this is how we help you and this is what the end result will be if you hire us for dog bites? So you have to be specific that addresses their problem. And once you kind of have that particular problem, your marketing message simply establishes that your business has empathy for them, that you have the authority to provide that solution, and what the value of your service is. Then what is at risk if they don't use you? The part that says what's at risk is really there to create a sense of urgency. You don't always need a ticking clock, sign up by this date, or it's going to go away. Just simply saying, are you tired of dealing with this thing? And triggering that in their mind, we're like, you know what? I am tired of waking up and my feet hurt. Or, you know what? I am tired of worrying about how I'm going to have a car, who's going to pay these medical bills. I don't want to worry about this anymore. I need someone to help me. Little T. So next, or I guess first, you want to start with a perfect client. And this seems like, hey, yeah, we've done this before. It may not matter to you, but knowing the demographics, whether it's male or female, how old they are, how much do they earn, where do they live, are they married, do they have kids? Because your messaging could reflect all of these different demographics. Good example, doctors. I am sure a lot of the people that do the initial research or actually make the appointments are going to be wives of, either for the family, for themselves, or for their husbands. They tend to be the advocate for the family members. They're tired of Fred complaining about his feet hurting, and she's stuck going, you know what? I don't want to hear you complain. I was about to curse, complain about your feet anymore, or they're worried about their future. Because if, something's hurt and you work with your hands and on your feet, no, that's going to be a problem. Or, if you're married, you might worry about something else. If you have kids, you might worry about their future, your age and all these different things. It may trigger where you're going to do advertisements, what magazines you might use. So coming up with the demographics, how much money you make, because when you say, I help, majority of my clients are going to be males that make between $100,000 to $250,000 a year. They have 2 kids and they're not married. Where you promote and the messaging and the language that you use is going to be very specific to that particular demographic. All right, so next, and this one gets into kind of the idea of using story to sell your products or service. Everybody's heard about, using story for marketing, but what does it actually do? It's something called narrative traction. So what is narrative traction? Narrative traction refers to the degree to which a story or message gains momentum and resonates with its intended audience. It measures how well a narrative captures people's attention, generates interest, and inspires action. Right? Nobody cares about the story until there's a problem, until there is narrative in it. So, nobody cares about the action story until there's a bomb or somebody gets kidnapped or there's something at stake. So you need to kind of create that narrative traction and get people to understand that there is going to be a payoff at the end. So every potential client looking for services has really 2 problems you should address. Number 1, the external problem. This can be a physical problem such as being injured in a car accident and they need a way to financial support for themselves as they heal, or they have foot pain and they want to relieve that pain. Or you could be a home services provider and, the physical problem is, they got drafty windows, right? So, there's going to be all different ways, but it really external is kind of the physical thing that's stopping, or really it's like the main thing that's in the way. And number 2, and this is the juicy one, is the internal problem. And how does it actually make them feel when they think about that problem? The reason that is so important, now I don't have this problem. I'm very in tune with my emotions, but most people don't like to admit things, right? Do we like to admit when we're scared of something? Do we like to admit when we're uncertain about something? No, I do. I love that. I'm very in tune with my emotions, as I've said. But if you or your clients aren't, saying it for them gives them a relief, and just hearing someone else, and think about the empathy you show by just saying, I identify and I understand, what it is that you're going through beyond just the physical, like I got injured, I need money, and like really digging in deep into that field. That's going to break through a lot of barriers. And that's a type of messaging you don't see on a lot of people's websites. It's usually just going to be the external problem is what they're going to focus on. All right, so identifying a potential client's problem in your marketing creates narrative attraction because it helps you connect with your target audience. By highlighting a specific problem or pain point your potential clients are experiencing, you can capture their attention and show them that you understand their needs. Once you have identified their problem, you can offer a solution or a path forward. This creates a sense of hope and possibility in their mind of your potential clients, which can lead to more engaged and receptive audience, right? Like that's how you break through the sales averse. People are like, oh, I don't want to get sold something, but you identify the problem, you present a sense of hope and a way out of it and a clear path, like step 1, 2, 3, you're going to start getting more and more conversions right there. So by addressing their problem, you position yourself as the expert who understands their needs and has the experience to provide that solution. This builds trust, credibility, which is essential to establishing a long-term client relationship. Why do you want a long-term client relationship? Because all businesses are really built on the back of referrals, and you want to start a good long-term relationship, and you want to actually be able to deliver on what it is that you're promising them. So how do you actually demonstrate you have the authority to solve their problem? So to demonstrate, why your company has the authority to solve their problem, you can use various strategies like highlighting your company's experience and expertise, providing examples. You can share case studies, testimonials, customer success stories. Love a customer success story. So imagine creating narrative traction within a story where you say, my client came to me with this problem. We presented this solution. This was the end result. So it's like the different levels you can take with this way of doing it, especially and instead of another blog about the 5 ways you could do this, explain how you've helped someone, and then someone else can identify with that particular story. So if a mother of 2 got injured in a car accident where she hurt her back and couldn't play with her kids, and you helped her get rehab and you got her a new car and helped them out, they identify with that. Same thing, mother of 2. Feet are hurt, can't walk with the kids as much. She doesn't get to pursue her passion of running. And when she pursues her passions, she's a happier parent and better at, providing a good life for her children. So it's another way to present that information. Showcase qualifications. I've been to these seminars. I do this work. I have this degree. All different ways to kind of present the authority. And this can be written content, video content, infographics, you name it. But it's basically taking these different ways to demonstrate it and then putting it in different types of content. You can show awards. Awards are always good. So we win, web awards and things like that, and we promote that. But if you're like best lawyer, best podiatrist, local awards, that's always something great. Local magazines will prevent these things. And then, being a thought leader. So not just kind of stories, but writing in-depth blogs, because someone might have a long-tailed question, right? Like something that takes more than just bullet points, more than just a story. It takes deep level industry knowledge. You can present yourself as the authority. So once again, in Matt Tate's perfect world, if someone asks a very long, detailed question and Google Maps doesn't show up to present your business, and it's really you're competing against directories and other high authoritative websites, and you land on that message, you're golden, right? Like you are in there. They're not going to go anywhere else, or they're going to look for someone else. And when they don't have the same type of answers that you have, they're going to come back to you. So demonstrating empathy for your client is something I don't see a lot of people doing. And that's just simply saying, I understand your pain. So you want to demonstrate. You could say, I started this business because this happened to me once, or we've worked with thousands of clients. So you're kind of sharing similar experiences. You're providing personalized solution. You don't just say, you know, you don't just say, you know, hey, this is the bronze package. It's like, no, this is the get your life back together service. They're for orthotics, right? Think about orthotics. You're not just selling orthotics. It's the, enjoy the outdoors again package, right? So like if you can it takes a little cleverness, but if you can provide that very personalized messaging and title really of the solutions that you provide, all the better. And then followed with compassion. So even if you do, sell something to someone, following up and saying, hey, I'm checking to see if you're actually enjoying the outdoors again. Or how is your life going since we helped get you that medical treatment that you needed and got you money so you could get a new car and provide for your family because you got injured and you're not able to work for an extended period of time. Next big thing, what value does your product or service deliver to clients? This is the section where you create marketing targeted at people's desires. People want a positive vision of what life can be like if you solve their problems. What is the actual value? The benefit of the benefit. What pictures can you use to are relevant to the value? So if someone's jogging again, they see, hey, I can run again. Or if someone is smiling with their family because you did an estate plan for them, it's like, hey, you're happy and comfortable. So like the image that you use should also project that type of value that you have. And how will their lives look and feel better if you solve their problem? Like let them envision the future. Only you can imagine what it will be like if A, B, and C. So what you'll want to do is generate a list of as many different benefits your products provide to your clients, and then show them a simple path forward to get them to improve their lives. Don't let your clients assume how your company can help them. Tell them about it. Let me say it again. Don't let your clients assume how your company can help them. Tell them about it very specifically. All right, so on to the next one. Here we go. This is also much with empathy. What is at risk is another big thing I don't see many people do. This is the section where you create marketing for people's fears. What will happen to potential clients if they don't use your services? Avoid using too much negative language because you don't want people to shut down. You want them to start to dwell on it instead of kind of transitioning their focus to what the value of that your service can bring. And I think this is an important message, right? Like we all do this to ourselves. If it's too scary, a good example, maybe not the perfect example, but cleaning out a garage. We don't know where to start. We look at it and we're like overwhelmed by the fear and like, man, once I pull this out, I'm going to have to pull everything out. I got to put it all back together. And so giving them a path and like really making it simple for them to understand, what is at stake for them, not just staring at, oh my God, I have all this. It's like, no, you get to actually use this garage. What are the value that you have? So you really want to be careful with what you put at stakes because then that's the daunting task that shuts you down. That's the garage you want to clean, but what's the negative of having to clear all that out, make decisions, throw things away. You're like, I don't want to do that. But if you can emphasize the value of clearing out that garage and then show them, man, it's just these three simple steps, that's going to be the way you should really think about the stakes is just don't overwhelm them and really kind of shut them down while you're doing it. All right, so next, we're going to talk about how to implement this on your website. So for your website, you want to implement your new marketing message. So what we're about to go over is how to create a new header, how to show the value of your services on your website, how to show what is at risk for your clients on your website, what type of content do you need to demonstrate the authority. We already talked a bit about that. And then we want to have this idea of a primary and a secondary call to action. So let's get into that. All right, so a little caveat here. What I'm going to show you is what we call a wireframe. Now, I like to use Canva when I'm coming up with new ideas. It just allows me to just drag and drop and put stuff up, and you can change out words and change images, but you can do this. I've had clients literally fill out like 30 or 40 pages on like a yellow pad and just draw it. Feel free to draw it. Stick figures are okay, but you can put it in boxes, you can put the buttons, and you can put it across your website. That is perfectly reasonable to do. Now, here's what we got. So up here in the header section, we want to go ahead and have a section where we present what you do. So Foster, we have web technology and marketing services. That's what we have. Then we want to say what's going to be the result, which would be your secret weapon to increase revenue, profits, and productivity. And what do we want them to do next? Book an analysis today. So in your header, using some of the language and the things that you've crafted as you built your different messages is you want someone to quickly and easily be able to recognize what you do, what's going to be the end result, and what do you want them to do next. A good way to think about this, when we go back to never trade clarity for cleverness, is you almost want it to be so simple you say, did I make that too simple? Then you got it. That's when you're doing your job, when it almost feels too simple and you keep whittling it down. When you're creating messaging, a great phrase I love, commas are not your friend. If you just keep adding commas, you keep expanding, it's going to be really hard to make clarity in that. And then you really want to choose one particular call to action that is your main call to action. I didn't update this, but this should also say book an analysis today, but instead it's just book an appointment. So you really want to drive home, like, this is the main thing I want someone to do whenever they come to a page. And then there's this section where you would list your values. Now we've got another section where we can get a little deeper into it. But what is the value? So if somebody comes to the website, they go, okay, web technology, marketing services, increase revenue, profits, productivity. Sounds nice. Not ready to book an appointment yet, but let me just go ahead and keep scrolling. Okay, the values, more money, better clients, less time. I like that. Sounds good. Yeah. So your web technology and marketing services increase profit, productivity, provide more money, better clients, and saves time. Awesome. Next, you want to go and hit them with the stakes. So here are the stakes. We help clients make millions, and so there's a clever way you can kind of put that. Stop attracting low-quality leads that waste their time. Stop letting potential clients and patients and customers work with bad attorneys and doctors, and stop letting your business keep taking up more and more of your time. So it kind of directly goes back and relates to these values. Then this next section kind of goes into some little more details about that. So unparalleled technology and services. So our unparalleled technology and services, or unparalleled technology and experience, that what does it do for them? Generate high quality leads, take control and save time, enjoy your time off worry-free. And then a little description on exactly how it does that. So I really like this value plus subheading thing on here to kind of create clarity. I do like this at the top though. And none of this is set in gold to say this is how you have to stack the information on your website. This is just a quick wireframe demonstration. Like you could put testimonials, right? You could say, you know what, I've got great testimonials where people really talk about what it was like to work with me. So in between the value and the stakes, you could put testimonials to establish authority. You could put your About Us section where you establish empathy, where you say, we've been doing this for hundreds of years and it pisses me off that other people, have to suffer through this. I empathize with you. This is just for the sake of this particular wireframe. And so here in this section, kind of why should you work with our team? We went ahead and say, hey, we're going to have case results here and testimonials here. So we're establishing kind of our authority by we've done this in the past, and kind of our trust and authority as well by adding testimonials from other people. So we're targeting the same type of information, but we're doing it in a couple of different ways. Then, having a step-by-step guide. I really love this as far as making it easy for people to understand how it's going to work with your company, how they should move forward. There may be 50 steps in between this, but you want to make it easy for them to, once again, going back to that visualize hope, like, oh, there is relief. Now, you don't want to do probably more than 4 on here. Just 3s, just for whatever reason, seem to be the magic numbers. It's easy for people. Something to do with odd numbers. People want to see an even number, so it kind of piques curiosity. Talk to a psychologist about that. Then here, we're going to put a brand video. So that's how we're going to kind of establish our empathy, is we have a video where Tom Foster goes in, he talks about our company, how it was built, what we want to do for people. And then at the very end, we're going to have our transitional call to action. So your transitional call to action is to say, you've gone through all of that page, right? Like we've gone through that entire website. We've told you what we do, what it's going to do for you, what the value is, call to action, what's at stake, what the value is in more detail. We've established empathy. And if they're still not ready to click, having a webinar, a book. So if you're a podiatrist, having a book about orthotics or, athletic, performance improvements by having your feet worked on. If you're a personal injury attorney, having books about a particular type of accident or injury, a webinar series. You could be a home services provider and you might want a book about how to winterize your house as a way to get them in. And once they sign up, you start sending them emails about how you can help them winterize their their homes for them. So everything we went through really whittles down to taking that messaging, putting it on the website, and you should really do this for every product or service that you have. Every single product, you could create empathy, authority, value, and what's at stake for them. There is going to be some overlapping, but some might be completely different, and you're missing out on conversion opportunities for that. Now, how this is going to help with ROI with every marketing channel seems pretty obvious to me, that every channel you have is going to eventually end up on your website. And think about the landing pages that you have. Even if you're a PPC driven company, the landing page that they come onto should have some of these elements that help them convert into a client. So that's really it. It's those 3 types of marketing messaging, starting with internal, where it establishes goals and what people need to do every day. Your brand, which is much more sales messaging, where it's the external brand message, your elevator pitch, your tagline, and then your marketing messaging, which establishes empathy, authority, the value that you bring, and what's at stake if they don't hire you. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say this. I am willing to speak to 7 people. I have 7 spots available over the next few weeks, where if you have some more questions based off of this webinar, I'm willing to talk, keep it to about a half hour, just kind of a check-in call to say, hey, what are you struggling with? Now, you need to sign up soon, because last time I did this on a webinar, I had 30-something people sign up, and my bosses were like, Matt, hey, you're not doing your job. You're just kind of having fun talking to people because you have a particular passion for helping business owners. So if you simply go or send an email to clarity@fosterwebmarketing.com, send me your information. First 7 people that send me, I'll send you a link to my appointment booking software. You go ahead and book that appointment, and we'll have a 30-minute conversation. Thanks for listening, guys, and let's roll.